The treasure beneath the old oak tree. Once upon a time, in a small village surrounded by rolling hills and lush green forests, there stood a mighty old oak tree. The villagers believed the tree was magical, for it had stood there for as long as anyone could remember. Its massive trunk was covered in knotted bark, and its sprawling branches formed a canopy so thick that even the brightest sunlight barely pierced through. The oak tree was a favorite spot for children to play, but it was also the subject of many whispered tales. One such tale was about a hidden treasure buried beneath the tree. The legend said that long ago, a kind but mysterious traveler had come to the village. He stayed for a while, helping the villagers with their crops and teaching them songs from faraway lands. Before he left, he buried a chest filled with something precious beneath the oak tree, leaving only a cryptic clue behind: seek the treasure when the moon is full and shadows dance like spirits on the ground. Among the children of the village was a curious and adventurous girl named Clara. She had bright, curious eyes and a knack for solving riddles. Clara had grown up hearing the story of the treasure and had always dreamed of finding it. One day, as she sat beneath the oak tree with her little brother Ben, she decided it was time to take the legend seriously. "Ben," she said, her eyes sparkling with excitement, "what if the treasure is real? What if we could find it?" Ben, who was younger but just as eager for adventure, grinned. "Let's do it, Clara. But how will we know where to look?" Clara thought for a moment, then remembered the clue about the full moon and dancing shadows. "The next full moon is tomorrow night," she said. "We'll come back then and see if the shadows reveal anything." The siblings spent the next day gathering supplies for their treasure hunt: a lantern, a small spade, and a notebook to jot down any clues. When the moon rose the following night, they snuck out of their home and made their way to the old oak tree. The village was quiet, and the only sounds were the rustling of leaves and the hoot of an owl. The moon hung high in the sky, casting its silvery light through the branches of the oak tree. Clara and Ben watched as the shadows of the branches swayed on the ground, forming strange patterns. Suddenly, Clara noticed something unusual. One of the shadows formed the shape of an arrow pointing toward the base of the tree. "Look, Ben," Clara whispered, pointing to the shadow. "It's a sign." The siblings followed the arrow-shaped shadow to a spot near the roots of the tree. They began to dig carefully, their hearts pounding with excitement. After what felt like hours, their spade hit something hard. Ben's eyes widened. "We found it." Together, they unearthed a small wooden chest bound with rusty metal hinges. Clara brushed the dirt off the lid and slowly opened it. Inside, they found a collection of shimmering gems, gold and coins, and a small, leather-bound book. But what caught their attention most was a note written in elegant handwriting. The note read, "To the finders of this treasure, this chest holds riches. But the greatest treasure lies not in gold or gems. The book you hold contains tales and wisdom from lands far and wide. Share these stories. For knowledge and kindness are treasures that grow when given to others. May this discovery bring joy to your hearts and light to your village." The traveler, Clara, and Ben looked at each other, their excitement replaced by a sense of wonder. They carried the chest home, and the next day shared their discovery with the villagers. The book became a cherished treasure, and the stories within it brought the community closer together. As for the gems and coins, Clara and Ben suggested using them to improve the village, building a library, fixing homes, and creating a playground for the children. The old oak tree remained a special place, and its legend grew even more magical. Clara and Ben often visited it, not for treasure, but to remind themselves of the adventure they had shared and the wisdom they had gained. And so, the village thrived. Its people united by the treasure beneath the old oak tree, a treasure that was far greater than anyone had ever imagined. The story is end.